Good afternoon from Chez Moi. It's time for another garden update. It's the second day of spring, March the 22nd, 2020. I'm kind of enjoying being home because it means that I've gotten so much done in my garden during all those meetings that really should have been emails still. Anyway, let's take a look. We're going to start on the left side this time. Let's ignore the garbage left out. We're doing a little bit of remodeling. We have all kinds of spring flowers starting to come back up. I see some sweet William. Not quite as much as in years gone by. I really need to reseed or have some more concerted efforts for saving seed. So that's a project for this summer. The oregano is coming back nicely. I just last week seeded some peas. And now we have, let's see, can we focus on them? Don't know where there's my camera. Okay. We have pea shoots. Hooray for peas. So I planted them every 2 inches or so. They said not to thin. I'm not really that interested in the peas, which are coming up pretty darn reliably. So much as the shoots. I really like pea shoots. They're delicious on sauteed scallops. It's one of my favorite things. Maybe with some fried carrot shavings. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. So whatever was eating the kale, which I saw Mr. Rabbit, Brer Rabbit, in the back last afternoon. He's found other things to eat. Oh my goodness. Look at the size of some of these Whittier mushrooms. Wow. That's like the size of a $50 coin. That's crazy. Garlic is doing nicely. I'm thinking I'm gonna harvest May, maybe June. I really want the bulbs to get big. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. So a lot of my seedlings are ready to be outdoors overnight. That's delphinium. I gotta find a place to plant it. Perhaps down there at the front, because that is the northernmost point. It would make a nice screen. Nothing else really grows there. Let's plant for delphinium around the front. I also have another sage bush, which I can't decide if I want to put over here, kind of in the shade where it doesn't ever seem to do well, or perhaps over here with the mint and the other rosemary. I don't know. We'll decide. Last week, along the edges, I weeded half-heartedly, to be admitted, and seeded very earnestly with chives and parsley, but they don't seem to quite be coming up yet. They were seeded at the same time as the peas, but peas are notoriously fast germinators. So as I said, I have some more of my overwintered seedlings out that stayed out overnight. So here's the chervil and 3 asters, store-bought, and 2 batches of seedlings. Those are getting big enough. I may want to separate those or transplant them into a larger pot soon. We'll see how they continue. And here are some transplants, the clones of my window or hanging baskets. And these have been out overnight. I think this is the coldest night we're going to have, unless something really weird happens the rest of the year. They all seem to be doing pretty well. I don't think it's supposed to get below about 58 from here on out. So I think these may be going up in the hanging basket soon. Hooray. I have one more, let's zoom in on. So my children painted that. And there's a bird feeder that they actually made at one of those Home Depot deals. I have another one that's painted in those same pink and green colors, which coincidentally almost perfectly match, right? My impatience. So I would like to have the 2 bird houses, the bird feeder, and the 6 hanging baskets. And then hopefully the ferns will come back and the fatsia, and it'll just be a layer of color and texture and wildlife. That's my hope. Okay. I don't know what all these little things are called. I know those pink things are azaleas back there. But these, I've been told they were blueberries, but they don't look like blueberries to me. Anyway, I haven't turned my compost, so we're not going to look at it. But I don't, oh, here we see some fiddleheads on the ferns. So again, these are ferns that were grown from spores, oh, I don't know, 3 years ago? Something like that. They're actually sisters to the ones that are in the trays we're going to see out back. It's just I didn't open those trays. I left them for a full year in the plastic bag, just didn't touch it, and transplanted it, and still got like 18 ferns out of it. So yeah, ferns are easy to grow. Don't buy ferns, people. Oh wow, look at all those. I do not believe that these brown fiddleheads are the sort that you can eat. So FYI, they're just ornamental. A daffodil left over from the woman before me. All right. And so, the backyard azaleas are starting to bloom. This one is actually new since yesterday. This one wasn't out yesterday. Some of them actually have a smell to them. It's got a nice little white streak to it. See camellias. This one is just a powerhouse. You see, this is its second bloom this season. This is the first one for that one, but I like its color better, and the bumblebees get more pollen off of it. So, impatiens. Interestingly enough, the red and white consistently bloom faster than any of the other stars. These are just some stars that were already in containers because I ran out of paper cups. These are my white that are just going to be accents around. And all of these are my cherry splash, which are really my favorites. They're white with this pinkish center, and it's the same pink as what's in my hanging baskets. So when these start blooming, I want to put them sitting with the ferns. So it'll be purple, pink hanging baskets, followed by white, purple, pink flowers inside ferns, below fatsia, hydrangea, etc. So it's just a cascade of color in plants. These are more hybrids, star hybrids. It was the hybrid mix, so there's a pink, a red and white, a purple and white, and I believe there's one more. But we'll find out what I got because I want to sort them by color, and many of them have blooms that are just about to sprout. That one looks like it's going to be another red and white. Those seem to have the darker leaves and of course be some of the quickest to bloom. And here's some more. Again, these had a little bit of damage because I had to move them around and disturb their roots, but they're doing okay. Camellias. I hope to get the fence in this year so I can plant these out. If not, I'm going to need to transplant all of these into new containers because I fear they're going to get root bound. And here's, as I said, the sisters to those ferns up in the fern garden. I got a few new mosses. I'm kind of proud of my bryophyte garden. Let's go ahead and look at the bryophytes. So, all of this moss has been collected in the backyard, around the neighborhood. I do have mosquito pellets in there, just so you know. There's some more ferns that need transplanting. Some of them I actually brought back on their respective rots. And let me show you, this was just a little patch, like right here, when I brought it back. And in only a year and a half, it's creeping up that rock, so I'm hoping it'll go get really fuzzy. That one too. Oh, backyard neighbor, don't holler at me right now. So here's my avocado tree. It seems to have withstood the winter, so we know it's good down to 50. The white azalea, the small white azalea, is just in full bloom. Hello Lola, how you doing? And the big azaleas, which actually have a nice scent to them, are in bloom. We're gonna just briefly look at the livestock today. Hello chickens. It's not quite 60, so you're not getting out quite yet, but I promise I will let you out for at least an hour today. if for no other reason than I probably need to clean their water and refeed their feed and, of course, collect eggs. And now, pièce de resistance, the reason I'm so happy, we finally have bees again. So I installed those packages yesterday when it was like 80 degrees, so don't worry about them. And today I need to check and see how they're doing on feed. We're in the midst of a honey flow, so I don't know. It looks like they're flying in and out. They were orienting quite a bit yesterday. And I have to say I'm quite pleased with the very small number of dead bees in the package. I mean, half a dozen. Usually you get like half a cup. This is thumbs up to Barnyard Bees from Chatham, Georgia. So, yeah, chickens. We'll come back and give you your whole episode one day. But in the meantime, we're going to go back into the green room. Bye, Lola. She's really a nice dog. She just desperately wants to play with the chickens. Anyway. It's kind of chilly. And it's going to be rainy for the next 2 days. I was starting to harden off my peppers and eggplants, but I thought it was just too much for them today. They were already getting a little sunburned, as you'll see by their leaves. So I brought them in and put them back under the lights. Now these guys were indoors the whole time. They were deemed teenagers and couldn't really be left out on their own. These guys were looking about the same, but these two actually had a little bit of, I think, fungus gnat damage, some sort of gnats that I ended up spraying. But this is new. This is new. They're just kind of droopier. This one won't fold over anymore. You know. So they got a little battered yesterday when they were, let's see if we can focus. They got a little battered yesterday when they were outside. So we're going to give them a little respite today. But it looks like this guy is shading out all the other guys. So let's make sure there you go. Make sure everybody gets some good light. They're also a little dry, if you notice. They got a little wind burned. It was kind of windier than I thought it was going to be yesterday. So those need a little TLC. I think I'm going to give them a drink of water, maybe with a little bit of fertilizer. So my potting soil came with a nice flush of these mushrooms, which should not really worry you. They're not bad for your plants. In fact, they're a decomposer, so they're going to add all kinds of nutrition to the soil, so yay. Here's some more that were outside. Now these were yellowing. These are their first leaves. They were probably going anyway. But this one got a little bit of sunburn. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. See how it got a little bit of sunburn there? And how dry the top's got. So, TLC for the eggplants and peppers. Come on, focus. There we go. And we'll see that the marigolds I transplanted last week are growing nicely. They just need turning. Let's see. They're getting a little dry. They probably need some water. My peppers are doing nicely. Let's focus on you again. There you go. Those are more California Wonder Peppers and tomatoes. So all of these guys need turning and probably need some fertilizing because they've got a couple of sets of leaves. There we go. There we go. So they all need fertilizing because they need a couple of sets of leaves. But this is going to be a slow day in the garden with not a lot to do outside. Absolutely nothing to do outside, really. And only some care and feeding to do inside. So I hope you're having some good gardening success during this short confinement period. Wishing you well from the Ent Wife's Garden.